Hey guys, it's Max Convexity here. Hope everyone's having a great evening. Hey, look at this. If you've watched my nightly update on the Defiance funds, I said that IMWY had a price 2 days in a row, and I thought that looked funny. And anyway, but I was frustrated. Well, anyway, I was wrong. Of course, it looked funny. Uh, the real price was 1777, so I had 1330 there. So this is better news. So to recap, these guys sold 609 puts at the 2025 strike for 1777. 1777 subtracted from 2025 is 2007. All right, so that's the break even. Max profit is 2025. The good news is these guys are now going for $1 million or 92 basis points. That makes a big difference in the capture percentage. And it would take their total earnings. Yes, it's still bad. All right, let's look at this tracking error. Let's stop talking about spreadsheet errors and look at tracking error. Okay, so we'll start with the S&P. The S&P was up. Everything was up today, of course. The S&P was up more than 2 points. So the best of these funds, at least according to this, is, and this is on today, is GPIX and SPY. They both got about 3/4 of the S&P's upside. Nice job, guys. Very, very nice job. Oh, I'm sorry. Bally also got about that much. Bally got 1.61%. So Bally, GPIX, and SPY. Now, both Bally and GPIX are high-powered funds that won't have as much buffer. That they actually will probably may not have as much on the downside either. Is the bad news, but GPIX writes only does a partial overwrite. Sometimes they just have 20 or 30% of their portfolio overwritten with calls. So that's good news when the market's blowing up because it means it has more room to appreciate. The entire portfolio isn't capped. Unlike XYLD or JEPI or JEPY, all of these stocks, their entire portfolio is capped. That's just the way their strategy is. But in any event, good day for GPIX and BALI. Nice day for all of them, really. Okay, so over here in the NASDAQ high yield, the NASDAQ, of course, was up 3%, and FEPI's parent, which is the Solfang index, was up 3.39%. I mean, that thing's on fire, but FEPI itself was up 2.91, so FEPI caught just about 90% of that upside right there. Nice job, FEPI. QYLD catches half the upside. QQQI catches a third of the upside. JEPQ caught 2/3 of the upside. Nice job, JEPQ. QQQI caught 2/3 of the upside. All right. RYLD, IMWY, and PAPI. Of course, the Russell was also up, although not as much as the other ones, and all of these were up. RYLD was actually up the most. In the bond funds, of course, the benchmark for the bond funds is TLT. That was up 0.5%. The bond funds, TLTW was up almost as much as the TLT was. That's a lot of upside there. That's like 95% upside. Nice job. I don't know what's going on with these other two. SFOL, SFOL is just a pretty steady performer, it seems like, but SFOL appears to have had a good day. Now let's look down here at the single stocks. All right. So Tesla today outperformed the underlying, which is really good. Let's see what TSLP did. TSLP underperformed. Today, Tesla looked better than TSLP. It isn't that way every day, but it certainly is today. NVIDIA outperformed the parent. Look at that. That's crazy. You don't see that often at all. Nice job, NVIDIA. All right. Coney was in line. OARC, OARC caught 100% of the upside. That's a great job, OARC. AMZ caught about 85%. Aptly caught about 2/3. Look at this. AMD killed it today. AMD was up 10.69. AMD was up 9.92. That's a lot of upside to capture. Great job, AMD. TSLP did respectable. It got 1.17%, where Tesla got 1.36. I mean, that's very respectable. But Tesla just was the best performer of the day as far as the Tesla high yield funds, which there's two of them, or there's two of them that sell options that I know of. If there's any more, let me know. Look at this. MRNY just killed it, got about 90% of the upside. MSFO outperformed the parent. Let's see if there's anything else that stands out. InFly outperformed Netflix. Sky was in line. It got about 80% or something, so you'd expect a little bit of buffer, but it was still up 4.3%, even though Square was up 5.4%. Of course, Square has earnings tomorrow, so we'll see what happens tomorrow on that one. XOMO outperformed. Group was in line. MSFY kind of underperformed. I mean, it lagged way behind. Only be up 1.2 when Microsoft was up 6. Misty, I just started covering it today. It was up 4.17. In Master Strategies, the parent was up 2.35. So it's starting off with a big outperform. Nice job, MSTY. We'll darn sure take it. All right, let's look at the charts. All right, so here's the 30-day in all the SPX funds. Far left is JEPI. Actually, I don't know what's on the far left. That's JEPI. JEPI's up 1.97 in 30 days, where the parent, which is SPX, is up 4.29. So JEPI caught about a third. JEPY, I don't know what's going on with JEPY. Over 30 days, I'm going to have to look. I don't know. iSpy, I got to think it's bad data. I had some bad data on iSpy, and that's now why it says BATS iSpy. I was pulling a quote for some other iSpy. There's another ticker on some other exchange that's iSpy. And unless I specifically put this BATS, which is an exchange or a quoting, it's an exchange, I think. But unless I put this in the code, it doesn't pull the right iSpy quote. So I think JEPI probably has some kind of mistake too. There's no way that could be true. I'll look into that and have an answer by tomorrow. All right. I'm sure it's human error of some type. Anyway, SPY, I caught half the upside. Here's GPIX. Caught a ton of upside. I'd say caught 2/3 of the upside. That's really good, GPIX. Here's XYLD, caught the least upside. Of course, they sell the at-the-money option, so that's totally what we would expect. It's not an expert at capturing upside. Let's see what else I got. I have 30 days on the single stocks. I'm just looking at the outliers. It looks like GUI's doing the worst. I mean, NVIDIA, Coney, FBY, DISO, those are the ones you want to have. You don't want to have Tesla, TSLP, GUI, at least according to this chart. Here's the 5 days. This is a little bit different. You can see over a 5 day period, Nvidia's outperforming the parent. That's crazy. You know, they say over any period of time, any length of time, the parent will outperform, usually by quite a little margin. Usually about double. Usually you can get about half the performance from a yield fund that you can get on a total performance basis that you could just get from the fund itself. But that varies. This chart looks pretty good though. There's a lot of good performance on this chart. Over the 5 day time frame, the high yield funds look fine. I really wouldn't be worried about any of them except DISO, and that one doesn't look terrible. Coney's, I mean, that looks fine. I mean, but a lot of them look really good. I would say there's 3 or 4 that look really good and 1 or 2 that don't look so great. All right, guys, I'll be back tomorrow in the morning around 8:30. Let's see what futures are doing right now. How about that? There's a NASDAQ futures daily time frame. I like the 30-minute time frame so you can see what's going on. All right, but they're totally flat. They're down 1/100th of a point, percentage point. S&P's flat. Russell's flat also. All right, guys. You guys have a nice evening. I'll talk to you in the morning.